I caught my husband. Am I wrong for wanting a divorce? I'm devastated, just sitting in a hotel room, contemplating every decision I've made in my life. Everything is falling apart. I can't even tell anyone what happened. I'm lost. I'm broken. I feel like the world is crashing down on me. I can't unsee what I saw. I feel like I should have never ignored my instincts. Something was always wrong. I can't shake the feeling that I let this man touch me ever. For background, I'm 28F. My husband is 32M. We dated for 2 years, married for 3. I'm a nurse, he works at a tech startup. He's always wanted kids, and I've been open to the idea, but I don't express myself as super excited about it. Being a nurse, I've seen so many depressed moms who regret their decision, so I'm just cautious. But I don't mind having kids. I just don't feel that crazy mom instinct towards kids, like a lot of my cousins say that they just want to be a mom. I just don't have that feeling yet. He's always excited, talks about it all the time. We've been doing some tests to make sure everything's good. We have been trying, sort of. Last month was our marriage anniversary. End of John. After dinner, he told me he had a gift for me. I was excited. I opened the box and it was so creepy. It was a realistic doll like how a baby looks. I had no idea things like this even exist. He told me these are called reborn dolls. I was so weirded out because it's like holding a dead baby. The eyes are closed, it just felt wrong. It came with a bunch of clothes and stuff. I was just shocked why he would get this. I didn't want to be rude, so I asked, "Oh wow, what made you get this?" And he said since I told him I don't feel that mom vibe or anything seeing kids, he got me this doll to help me. I was so creeped out, but I didn't want to ruin the night, so I just said thanked him and went to bed. Never talked about it. Again. A few days pass, and last night Sunday, he went out with his friends. They usually drink, so it's not uncommon. He was at his friend's place and said he'd be home late. I had work early the next day, so I went to sleep. At 4 a.m., I woke up to get ready for my shift. I went downstairs and saw him passed out on the couch. I went closer to wake him up so he wouldn't hurt his back sleeping there. And then, I saw it. Next to him was his drinks, a bottle of lube, and that silicone sticky doll, without clothes, placed on his private parts. He was just laying there, passed out. My heart sank. I felt disgusted, disturbed. I quietly went upstairs, grabbed some clothes, and left. I called in sick and checked into a hotel. Now I'm sitting here, devastated. I don't know what to do. I feel sick. I don't even know who to talk to about this or who to tell. He's been calling and texting, asking why I'm not home, saying I'm overreacting. He keeps saying it's not what it looks like and that I need to give him a chance to explain. He said he was just cuddling it. But I know what I saw. He has no reason to have that doll on him, in that position, with that stuff next to him. I don't feel safe seeing him again. I don't know how to tell my friends or family. I'm Indian, and there's going to be a lot of judgment about divorce if I even say the word divorce. My family will not hear me out. They only think divorce is justified if someone is being physically abusive. I don't even know how to explain why I don't want to be with him anymore. I feel like he's going to turn this on me, say I'm being crazy, and no one will believe me. Am I just overreacting or being the asshole by not hearing him out? No, my brother and close friends will trust me, but my parents and relatives, they'll think I'm insane. I am worried about going back home and facing him. I want to tell someone about it and want a friend or my brother to come with me if I have to go grab some more stuff from home. What should I do from here? Edit to this post. A lot of people are asking about picture. Before leaving the house, I took a picture because I knew no one would believe me. I didn't tell him I have proof because I am scared of him. My friends and brother will believe me regardless. It's just family that I am worried about. So hard to bring this up to them. I can't even discuss normal topics with them due to our cultural stuff. Despite having the picture, I don't think I can show it to my parents and edit. Someone commented saying, YTA, and a liar. My daughter has 6 of these reborn dolls. They do not have any openings where his pen could go. Get a life. I just want to add, I have no idea about any of that. Like I said, I just saw the doll naked on him. I never said what he did with it. He was most likely masturbating. People here are assuming he did stuff to it. I never touched that doll I have. No clue about openings or not. I am disturbed at the fact that he had it on him. Story, re Aida for kicking out my brother and his pregnant girlfriend out of my house. I, 28F, No, this sounds terrible, but please bear with me. My brother, 24M, is the only son in our family, and I don't know about anywhere else, but in an Asian family, it's basically a given that he was treated better than my older sister and me growing up. Our father passed away right before my brother graduated high school, and our beloved mother decided it was a good idea to make my sister and me pay for his college tuition because my father paid for our tuition until we graduated. For the record, I don't make tons of money, it's above average, but I'm not exactly swimming in cash. Plus, I work long hours. The economy sucks these days. Now I'm married. I proposed to this beautiful man, 28M, I've known since middle school after D. He got into a terrible accident that caused him to lose almost all of his motor skills. He was in a coma for about 2 weeks, and I swore that if he woke up, I'd marry him. So I did. I'm a woman of my word, after all. He also lost his job because of the accident, but he still has income from his investments, and his parents gifted him one of their property to rent out afterward. Yes. His parent is loaded with capital L. Even without financial trouble, I still watched him fall into a deep slump, struggling with depression because he'd been robbed of everything he knew, his job, his active outdoor hobbies. He couldn't walk for almost a year, and to this day he still can't stand or walk for too long, even with his cane. He was in a dark place until about a month before our wedding. Now, almost a year into our marriage, I can see the light starting to come back to his eyes after getting really into cooking and baking, to the point where we revamped our entire kitchen to fit a bigger oven and store all his baking equipment. He's actively researching how to get a permit to start a bakery, and I love seeing it, even after 3 weeks of eating sourdough bread for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Back to my brother. He and his girlfriend got pregnant by accident. He's currently job hunting, having graduated 2 years ago. He started a business right after college, but yeah, you probably know how that goes. It failed after he spent almost all the money. Our father left to us, his 3 children, as inheritance. That caused a rift between him and my oldest sister. I don't blame my sister for being furious because he also spent her share of the inheritance after paying his tuition. And if you know anything about Asian families, you know the oldest daughter has it the hardest. He's also not really on great terms with our mother because of the unplanned pregnancy. She's not exactly against his girlfriend, but she's not thrilled either. However, he's still the golden child. And that's why she asked me, her newlywed daughter, to let my brother and his girlfriend stay in our house until he finds a job. Since I live in a big city, she assumed it'd be easier for him to get hired. Here, I asked my husband if I could rent one of the rooms he owns to accommodate them. My husband, being the absolute angel he is, said that since what he owned aren't exactly suitable for long-term living with a baby, he'd see if he could remodel one. They could move in once it was ready and only start paying rent once my brother got a job. In the meantime, they could stay in our upstairs guest room. I've read stories about situations like this being recipes for disaster, and damn, I should have listened. They moved in sometime before Christmas. Both of them did the bare minimum, around the house. They washed their own dishes, but only the small ones like plates, glasses, and bowls, leaving the pots and pans for us to clean. They did their own laundry, but that's it. They'd raid our pantry and fridge without ever restocking anything. Some days I didn't even get a taste of my husband's baked goods. They'd eat the ones he specifically set aside for me. I had to wash dishes that I knew my husband didn't use, even after pulling 2 consecutive shifts at the hospital. I'm a freaking resident. They never vacuumed the second floor where they stayed, never helped take out the trash even though they filled it to the brim. I usually helped him with it whenever I got time, but I had seen my husband taking out trash multiple times when I just got home. Of course, I confronted them with a very watered-down and gentle version of, bro, you won't get a job if you can't even help take out the trash, and sis, you're pregnant, but you can at least wash the dishes you use. Both of you have 2 hands, you can wash the cooking utensils you use to make food. Teamworks make the dream works. They got slightly better after that. Now they wash all their dishes, but don't bother putting them back in the drawers. But hey, progress. Now here's the breaking point. During Chinese New Year, my mother and oldest sister came to visit. My husband went all out with his cooking. I cleaned the entire house and prepared the other guest room for my family. That's when I realized the second floor hadn't been vacuumed in ages. My brother and his girlfriend didn't come out of their room until my family arrived. We exchanged greetings, gave my mother her New Year's bow, and sat down for dinner. That's when all hell broke loose. My brother, with confidence straight out of his colon, actually said it was time for my husband to get a real job again because he can walk now. He added that he's younger but working hard to find a job. Then he really added the words "no offense," before saying cooking is a weird hobby for a big guy, 6'3" like him, and also he doesn't really have the talent for it. His girlfriend chimed in, saying she feels like my husband is more feminine than she is because he takes care of the house and cooks better than she does. Of course, the bar is somewhere below Satan's throne if she's the standard. She even said she and my brother keep asking my husband why he's still at home when it's been years since his accident, and that I'll leave him soon if he keeps being cooped up in the house. She then whined about how my husband always just smiled at them and never responded. I think even my brother realized she'd messed up because he quickly backpedaled, saying it was only once or twice. I just stood up, took both their plates, and told them to pack up and leave. I couldn't even look at my husband. I was so pissed and ashamed of them. It took every ounce of self-control not to curse them out right then and there. They said I was being too sensitive over harmless comments. My mother tried to defuse the situation, saying my brother and his girlfriend meant well, that their comments didn't come from a bad place, and even pointed out that my husband didn't seem offended, so she asked, "Why ruin a good day?" Which I ignored. I even handed them my car keys because I just wanted them gone. They left with my oldest sister after giving my husband a half-hearted apology. She told me they stayed at a motel before returning back to my mother's house. The next day, my older sister came by to pick up my brother's stuff. She laughed a lot about the whole ordeal, and she's the only one who thinks I did the right thing. My husband said he was glad I defended him, but he never took their comments to heart because he knows I love what he's doing, so he suggested I might have been a little harsh. My mother later told me their words weren't a good enough reason to kick out my struggling brother and pregnant girlfriend. She really emphasized the pregnant part. She said I could have just scolded him like I did over the dishes. Yep, he tattled about that too. I still don't think I am the asshole, nor I'm overreacting. I'm still pissed off, to be honest. But now I'm second-guessing myself because even my husband was so chill about it. Am I the asshole? Story 3. He lied. I believed. Turns out he cheated me. For starter, this happened in a phase of life where I wasn't looking for love. I met a guy on online space. After talking for a couple days, we met eventually. At first, I was not interested in him, but once he admitted he had feelings for me in a very beautiful way, I slowly started falling in love. He used to shower me with love. I made it clear that I would only be intimate if he saw a future with me, and he agreed. He was a stubborn man, emotionally distant at times, but I thought it was just his nature. He always said it was hard for him to express emotions. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. But despite his emotional walls, he did things for me that made me fall deeper. Then the pattern started. Whenever we argued about the future, he would come up with excuses, different problems and situations in life, and push me away with rude words. He'd disappear for days, only to come back showering me with love. My brain sensed the red flags, but my heart refused to listen. This cycle went on for almost 2.5 years. At one point, I needed clarity on where things were going. That's when he started making excuses, talking about family expectations, personal struggles, and career pressures. He claimed to love me but said he didn't want me to suffer because of his circumstances. Deep down, something felt off, but I still trusted him for his situations. We broke up. Then, the truth came out. He was married. He had a child. And on top of that, he lied about his identity, social media, and past relationships, too. When I confronted him, he continued spinning more lies, refusing to admit the truth. I know now that everything he told me was carefully crafted deception. I got to know that he did this multiple women. I feel shattered. I hurt my parents in this process. I feel lost, betrayed, and stuck. How do I even begin to move forward from something like this? Has anyone been through something similar? How do you heal from a love that was built on lies?